On today's show, we will talk about the importance of dreaming, allowing God to speak to our hearts, and then later Sarah Vogel will join us to discuss how she has pursued the dreams that God has placed in her. Do you know and understand that you are fearfully and wonderfully made? That God created you in His image? That you just didn't evolve into what you are? You were designed and created for a specific reason and purpose. And you were created unlike any other person. You're unique and perfectly made the way that God created you to be. As He formed you, as He continues to mold you, you will become the woman or man that He always meant you to be. But as He was making you, He also created this hole deep in your soul that can only be filled with one thing. Only one thing will ever fit in it, and that one specific thing is God Himself. You were made with an intense desire for your Creator God. Just a few days ago, I saw proof of this. A Buffalo Bills player named Damar Hamlin took a hit during the game, and when he got up, he fell back, and he did not get back up. CPR had to be performed, and it was a very scary scene to say the least. But what I saw, what I witnessed, was players, coaches, and staff taking a knee and beginning to pray. And then many calling others to pray. Pray. Why? Because even if you don't serve the Lord, there's something in you that says, all we need to do right now is pray. All we can do. Why? Because in these moments of the unknown, we know to pray. Somehow, even those who don't pray on a regular basis know that there is power in prayer. I believe it's because of that hole that's deep within us. But without a relationship with Him, you will always feel as though something is missing. There's no person, no amount of money, no amount of fame, no job, nothing that can or will fill that void. Whatever you attempt to put in there just won't fit because it wasn't meant to fit. You will never be happy or fulfilled until you realize there is just one thing that can. And you will never be all that God wants you to be. As you allow Him access, you will begin to see yourself as He made you. And you will dream things that you never thought possible. You will have a peace that you just can't explain. And you will have a joy even when things don't go exactly like you thought they would. And you will understand the beauty in who you were created to be. Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus, so we can do the good things He planned for us long ago." He already knows the plans He has for you, the dreams He would have you pursue. So now is the time to allow Him to speak these things to you. Allow Him to direct your steps, and allow Him to be the potter and you the clay. And remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So when we come back, we will talk about dreams and why it's important to dream.
This segment is brought to you by Harry's Construction, whose motto is, "If you can dream it, we can create it." They are the kitchen and bath design experts, so call Harry's Construction for all your remodeling needs.
When it's time for a new roof, Champion Roofing is your best choice. We're a certified award-winning roofing contractor, meaning your roof is done right the first time. Call today.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. And on today's show, we are going to talk about dreams. And God has put dreams in each and every one of us. And are we pursuing them? So, what are your thoughts when it comes to the things that God has placed in you to dream about?
Isn't that funny? When I first started reading about what we were going to talk about today, I am not a big dreamer. I am married to a big dreamer. You know, and I thought, do I have dreams? I'm sure that God has placed things in my heart, you know, to do things. But from a very young age, I wanted to be a wife and mom. That's what I wanted.
That is what I wanted.
And my dream has been fulfilled. And I love my girls. We're good friends. I love Jack and Finley, our grandkids. So honestly, nurturing people is a big part of who I am. My husband, who is the dreamer, I try to encourage him and build him up and lift him up in his dreams.
I kind of felt the same way. Like, I have dreams, but they're minor compared to like other people's. Like, I dream of going to Ireland. Like, I dreamed of being a grandmother. Like, my dreams weren't like huge dreams, I guess. I play it safe.
Oh, that's interesting.
I play things safe. But I am an encourager. I know that about myself. I am an encourager. So I encourage the dreamers. And it's ironic because I was looking up things, and a dream is a cherished ambition. And cherish means to protect or care for.
Oh, that's
I've not heard one sermon about a dream, about dreams, that they have not said to protect your dream. Don't tell everybody about your dream. And I thought that was interesting because actually the definition is to protect or care for an aspiration. And I thought that was really cool. Yeah. Because, I mean, look at Joseph. He blabbed his dream, and they tried to kill him and the dream. So you gotta be careful.
But God.
Yeah.
Yes, but God.
Be careful and surround yourself with the right people who are speaking, to get encouragement from, or to get, even some advice from.
Yes.
I heard this quote that says, don't live the same year 75 times and call it life.
Yes.
Wow.
And when I read that, I was like, I don't want that. I don't want to live the same year over and over again.
Right. Now, I did say this to you in church one day because several episodes ago, she had a dream of being the mom to a little girl.
Yes.
And in thinking about all of this dream stuff, dreams come to pass many different ways, and because they don't happen the way we want them to happen doesn't mean that dream is over. And I told her there will be a little girl in her life. She has 2 sons.
That's right. That's exactly right.
There will be a baby girl in your life. It just may not come the way you thought. Your dream is going to come true. I promise you that. And it will be different than what she thought, but God is going to give her that dream. He knows what that dream means to you.
Right.
Yes.
Right, absolutely. And I do feel like, there are dreams that have been placed in my heart to pursue. And, some are easier than others.
Yes.
Some like, all right, I can do that. And some you're like, what? Where did that come from? And I'm not so sure about that. One for me is I really feel God has said, I would like you to write. I did a podcast for a year of words, 1 a week. And I really feel like he said, now put that into a Bible study.
Oh.
I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer.
That's awesome.
So to me, that one is like been on the shelf a while.
Okay. It's daunting.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't even know where or how to start with that because I never wanted to write. It's not a passion of mine per se. But I do think there was value. Hopefully there was value in those words to put. So that one is like, we'll just kind of.
So that dream is from God. That is not
because that is not something I would come up with.
Right.
But then there are other things I'm like, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do that. That one I can do. So I think, God is always working in us, and some will be easy and some will take faith.
Oh, for sure. I do believe that where he leads, he provides. And we'll talk about that later with our guest. And that's comforting to know. But I'm like you, I don't know. I'm stuck. I'm stuck between that quote you just said and what you just said.
So are you married to a dreamer also?
Well, yeah, he'll say stuff like, I want to do this, and this. And I'm thinking, when are we going to do all that? But he doesn't seem to worry about that.
Right.
He just had, you know.
And you are also.
I am married to a dreamer, but I think I do like to dream also.
Okay.
But he's definitely at a higher level when it comes to dreaming than than I am, but I do like to dream. I do feel like we are meant to pursue more than just living our
and see,
life.
for me, I'm safe.
Yes.
I think, okay, if I don't try to do anything hard, then I'm not going to fail at it. And I tend to protect myself that way. And because my husband is a dreamer, I think, I can support him in it. You know? When actually, I shouldn't be afraid of those God-sized dreams.
I know, and I wish I wasn't.
Yeah.
And here's a quote for you.
Okay.
If you have a heartbeat, there's still time for your dreams.
Yes.
And that's the thing. If you're still breathing, and we are, right?
Yes.
We're all
Yes,
breathing.
we're breathing.
God has put something in each of us. Yes, it's good to encourage our spouses. It's
Yes.
good to, help them with whatever they want. But there's things that God has put in you specifically, Arlie, you, Teresa, me, that God wants us to pursue and move in that only you can do and only you can do.
Yes.
I truly believe that.
Absolutely.
And like, the scripture that says, "And old men will dream dreams."
Yes.
My father-in-law was like 86 or something when he passed, but up to the day he died, he dreamed these dreams that I'm thinking, you're 80 some years old, like how in the world is that going to happen? But he never stopped dreaming those dreams.
Yeah, I don't want to quit living
Right.
before I die.
Right.
I want to live well. And
to the fullest.
Yes, to the
yes.
fullest. I need to start praying for some God-sized dreams.
Yes.
Yes.
Do it.
Yes.
Because Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future."
Wow.
That is what he has for us. And there is more to be done in this kingdom.
There is.
I will say this.
There is.
I dreamed of being a church secretary when I was an X-ray tech. Okay, there's no common ground whatsoever.
No. Who dreams of being a church secretary?
Right, who dreams of it? I know.
Why?
But it came to me as I was walking,
Yeah.
because I told you guys I love to walk, and it came to me, I wish that I could be this. And look where I'm at today.
Right.
So that just came to my mind.
I'm a church secretary too. That's why I always made fun of you.
Yeah, probably wasn't your dream, but hey.
No.
Yeah, God is not done with us yet. He has things that, pray and start
That's right,
seeking.
that's right.
And he's going to show up and show you things that you weren't really aware of, but
Yeah.
it's going to be
'Cause
awesome.
He will wait on us to ask
Yes.
Yep.
and to be ready.
Yep, he will. And so I just want to end with this real quick, that there's a book called Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson that I really recommend if you're struggling with dreaming and how to pursue those dreams. This is a great book to help you pursue your dreams. And so find it, Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. And ladies and men and whoever's watching, God has something for you to pursue. He's not done with you yet. So start asking and he's going to direct you. Could be scary, could be out of your comfort zone. But as you walk with him, you will be amazed at all he can do in and through you. That's right. When we come back, we will have our guest for the day.
New Life Worship Center's tax ministry is in their 13th year of serving. This is an organization who will do your taxes, and they only ask for a $30 donation to benefit local charities. They will e-file federal and state returns and complete local returns for you to mail in. They can handle everything from basic family returns to rentals and property returns. Contact New Life Worship Center's tax team on Facebook or by calling them today. Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. On today's show, we have with us Sarah Vogel, and I am so excited that she's joined us because, man, this lady can dream. But before we get into that, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks for having me today, first of all. So I was born and raised here in Bellwood, and obviously right next to Altoona. And I grew up in a family with 4 children, so I'm the youngest kid, so I feel like I'm a conglomerate of all of my siblings. But I've always wanted to pursue art and something creative, and that led me to where I am now, which I'm the owner of the Clay Cup in downtown Altoona, which is a specialty coffee shop and pottery painting studio. I also own Westfall Coffee Company, which is a coffee roastery. It's also located inside of the Clay Cup, and then I am a professional artist on the side.
So you're busy.
Yes.
On the side, she's a professional artist.
And a mom of 2.
Oh my goodness. What I love is that you pursue. You pursue what God has placed on your heart, the dreams that you have within you. And I see that so much in you and it's just amazing because, I mean, I want to be more like you. So tell us a little bit how you started into some of these things.
So I think the story of how I got started, it can go on, but to make it brief, basically out of high school, I had changed my mind from wanting to be a mechanical engineer with something creative on the side to really wanting to pursue something creative full time. And I didn't have a direction at that point. So my mindset was take every opportunity you can, see if you like it, see what you don't like, and I believe the Lord really used that, and eventually it led me to where I was purchasing my own business, which was Playtime Pottery, back in 2015. And then from there I realized, oh, this creative thing can be successful, and that's when the Lord kind of planted the desire to pursue the Clay Cup in my heart, and that's when that was born. And I feel like just taking opportunities at that point in my life, that's where it kind of defined my path to one thing to the next.
So you kind of had like a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream, which is like really scary.
Yeah.
For me, just to get through one dream. You've gone through like 4.
I feel like it's been very refined over time. I feel like that's the best way to say it. And I don't even know what that final step looks like. And I'm not trying to figure that out yet. I'm literally just taking one thing at a time, and new directions have kind of been born out of that. And again, I don't know where I'll go next. So
Was there ever a moment that it became scary for you?
yeah, there have been a lot of moments where it has felt overwhelming. What have I done? What have I gotten myself into?
Yeah.
How am I going to continue carrying the weight of this responsibility that I've created? I mean, I have employees, I have people that rely on me for their income. And so this past year especially has been extremely challenging, and I've asked the Lord, do I need to keep going? Do I need to keep going? And I feel like he keeps saying, you're not done yet. And so I'm coming right out of a season, I'm still in it, that feels very hard and heavy. And so, yes.
So the thing is, it's not always, when we have a dream that we pursue, that we know that God has planted in us, doesn't mean that then it all just is roses and
Exactly.
easy, right?
Exactly.
We step out in faith. And I know that there are many times that you've had to step out in faith. Would you share one of those ways in the business realm?
Yeah, I think when I first started the Clay Cup, I was stepping out in faith in ways that I didn't even realize. I kind of, looking back, I feel like the Lord protected me from from knowing too much, almost. I was naive, but in a good way. And I was excited about when I felt the Lord was calling me to do. So I wasn't even thinking about all these scary things that I was going to have to go through. And I wasn't even looking at money in a way that probably a lot of people thought I should be. Yeah. And so I took the initiative and I went for it. And if I hadn't had that kind of blanket of protection or shields on my eyes, I probably wouldn't have done it. So that was
like
Lord's protection.
You were walking through each door as it opened. You weren't looking too far ahead. You were literally taking it one step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's accurate. If you look too far ahead, that's the big picture is overwhelming, and
Yes.
you don't have a clear picture of what that even
Yes.
is. So you have to say, okay, the Lord is asking me to do this one thing. What is that one thing? how do I achieve that one thing?
Right. And I think God's really good at that, to say, like, if I gave them the whole thing, they probably wouldn't
Absolutely.
take one step.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes.
it's too
So
much.
true.
Absolutely.
So he gives you what you need. He doesn't show you the whole picture. Then to walk in it. And I think that's incredible, the way that you took it as like, okay, this is what I know here right now, and this is the door that I'm stepping in right now. And let's see where God takes me. I know that even you had an issue with, was it the roof? Tell us a little bit about that.
So this is like the biggest God moment in my entire life, where we bought the building that the clay cup is in. So we opened the clay cup in 2017, and then we purchased the building later that year. And we knew that the roof was leaking and bad and needed replaced this whole time. It's just a big commercial building, and it would cost a lot of money. So we had kind of delayed it as long as we could. And then that next spring rolled around, spring of 2018, and we had so much rain, and rain was like pouring into my building. This is a 3-story building. It was coming in the 3rd floor and dripping down into the coffee shop on the 1st floor. That's how bad it was.
Goodness.
And so there were times where Jeremy and I were praying, Lord, please don't let the raindrops hit those holes in the roof.
Yeah.
And there was one time we prayed that, and we went up and it was dry.
Wow.
And it was like torrential downpour. But I just felt like I shouldn't try to get the roof replaced. Like, I shouldn't call roofing companies, and I didn't know why. I was like, we really need a roof. But I don't have the money either. So someone sent me the Sheets competition, which was, Sheets had put out this competition for artists to design their tractor trailers and their gas tankers, and the winner would get $25,000. Well, winners, there were 11 winners. And I was like, well, what are the chances of this? I'm just like a small hometown artist. I'll do it. What do I have to lose? So I entered, and I didn't hear anything back. They were supposed to have different rounds of the competition, and those deadlines went by, and I never heard anything. Meanwhile, rain is pouring into my building. And then one morning I pull into the clay cup. It was raining. I went because it was dripping down into the coffee shop. And I opened my email, and it was the Sheets thing, and it was saying like, you're one of the winners and all this stuff, and this is the steps forward. And I was like, is this even real life right now? when am I going to get the money so I can put the roof on? But it was, a price match. The roof cost $25,000, and I got $25,000 in that competition.
Oh my
goodness. The Lord used that to meet my need while using my gifting and my talent.
You know, when we travel a lot, and we will frequently see your design on the trucks. I always say a prayer for you specifically when I see that.
Thank you.
And that's how God works. If you're watching this show and you're afraid to step out, know that the dream He's put in you is for a reason, and He will provide each step as is needed. When we come back, we will have our tip for today.
Hey y'all, it's Dano. Check this out. Hey, we got some exciting news. Dano on the Counter, Season 2 on Fox 8 at 8 a.m. Make sure you check it out.
When it's time for a new roof, Champion Roofing is your best choice. We're a certified award-winning roofing contractor, meaning your roof is done right the first time. Call today.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution.
When I was in high school, I ran track. One of the events I participated in was the mile run. I loved going to the ballpark. I loved wearing my sky blue uniform. I loved spring. And I hated running. I don't know why in the world I was running the mile run, but I was. The very first meet, I was standing at the starting line. The starter raised his gun and he shot the gun. And I started running. By the second lap, my lungs were burning. By the third lap, my legs were giving out. My mind had given out a long time ago, but my legs were giving out. I had decided, this isn't for me. And I quit. I quit the race. That afternoon, there were people who said to me, don't do it anymore. Quit. You're not going to earn any points for the team. And they were right. But I decided that day I wasn't going to quit. Not track, not anything. I was going to keep going. That season was not a winning season for me in points. As a matter of fact, every single race I ran, I came in last, but I didn't quit. And every race, as I was rounding that last curve, I could look up in the stands and I could see my sister. And she was standing to her feet and she was clapping for me and she was screaming, "Keep going, Arlene. You can do it. You can finish. You can do this. Keep going." And that is what I heard for the last 100 yards. And I finished every race. Now, God has used that with me so many times. And I realized when I was thinking about a tip for the day that a lot of people choose a word. A lot of people choose it in January. I have done this several times and chosen a word. This year, I tried out different words. None of them stuck. But when I was planning the tip for the day and thinking about that story, I realized God gave me my word, finish. So that is going to be my word for however long He wants me to have it. And I encourage you, choose a word. It may be something that you do for just a month, or maybe it's for a whole year, maybe for a season that you're going through. But choose a word. I like to think of my life as a race, a long race that I'm frequently not good at. But as I'm rounding that last curve and going that last 100 yards, I look up and I see God. And He's taking His hands out of His robe and He's applauding for me. And He's saying, "Come on, Arlene, you can do it. Just finish. Come on, Arlene, you can do it." And He's cheering me on. So I'm going to encourage you, the tip for today, choose a word. Choose something that means something to you. Pray about it. Choose a word that you and God choose together. Thank you for joining us today on Let's Talk About It. We look forward to seeing you next time.